Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know, the Mayweather-Ortiz card, set for September 17th at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, is rapidly becoming a boxing fan's best dream. This is a gift. I believe the headlining fight is better than advertised. Keep in mind, Ortiz is in his prime. Ortiz is the middleweight champion. Ortiz, who's a righty who fights out of a southpaw stance, hits hard with both hands. And that's different than Oscar De La Hoya, who Mayweather fought in 2007 in what's still the most watched pay-per-view boxing event in history. Right? Ortiz hits hard with both hands. He can knock you out with both hands. Right? Mayweather, a technician, cannot disregard Ortiz's right hand or his left hand. I think that headlining fight is riveting. Announced today is one of the undercard fights, and that's Erik Morales, who just went 12 rounds with Marcos Maidana. And he's taking on Lucas Mathis, who gave Devin Alexander all he could handle, gave Zab Judah all he could handle. Many believe he won both of those fights. The one thing we do know is that he's very heavy-handed, and that he is a guy who is a serious knockout puncher who has a chance at stopping Erik Morales if Erik Morales gets sloppy. That's a great fight. I believe you have a third great fight on that card. It's a must-watch card. And that fight is the overlooked fight I'm about to discuss. And it features junior middleweight champion Saul Alvarez. And he's taking on a contender I think is underrated. And that is Alfonso Gomez. And let me just say this. You know, Gomez is slick. He's much slicker than Saul Alvarez. He's a faster starter than Saul Alvarez. I think this fight could open a lot of eyes. Now let me just explain my betting philosophy, because based on the emails I'm getting, I can tell some people are a little bit confused by it. I'm trying to get the best odds that the casino can offer. So if I have a fight between two guys, and I believe that the favorite, let's say he's a minus 600. You have to bet 600 to win 100. If I feel that the favorite can't win, or more likely than not, won't win this fight early, and will probably win the fight in the later rounds, then I don't want to pay the minus 600. I don't want to pay 600 to get back a measly 100. That's not my idea of a good time. What I would rather do, especially if I feel that the underdog is a live underdog who might be able to take this to the later rounds, who actually has a chance of outboxing the favorite. What I want to do is I want to get the underdog at plus 400. I want the casino to pay me 400 for every 100 I bet on that play. I want the plus 400. Then, of course, on the other side of the bet, because everyone knows I'm a straddler, I'll take the over. Right? So if the favorite wins the fight late, guess what? I've won on the over. Not only that, since over-unders tend to be close to even money, closer than the bets on the fighters, right? I can literally, if I'm getting even money, and if I'm getting 4-1 on the other side of the bet, I can bet 2 times or 3 times what I'm betting on the 4-1 option on that over-under, right? So if it hits, since I only have 100 on the underdog at plus 400, right? 100 to win 400. If I bet 200 at even money on the over, then if the over hits, I win 200 minus the 100 that I've bet on the underdog. I'm banking $100. That's the same $100 I would get if I threw $600 on the favorite and the favorite won the fight late. Right? So I believe in straddles. And when I see a live underdog who I think is too slick to get stopped early, I want to have my money on that underdog, and I want to take the over as the straddle. Right? People know I've been doing this in Manny Pacquiao fights, and it's paid off well. Shane Mosley, Manny Pacquiao. Mosley got completely dominated in the fight. I'm not here to say different. But of course, as I stated in my video, I had Mosley to win, straddled against the over, and the over paid better than even money in that fight. So of course, at the end of the day, as I was watching the fight, once they got to a certain part in that fight, once it went over, that was change in my pocket. That was a nice win. And of course, people who remember that fight remember that the alternative would have been to take Manny Pacquiao at huge odds, where I'd be paying the casino $600, $700, $800 just to win 100. Right? Now, against that betting strategy, I think in this fight, Alfonso Gomez is a live underdog. I'll discuss it. He's a live underdog. The bet I'm recommending, and I'm saying this before I even discuss the fight, is Alfonso Gomez to win the fight. The underdog to win the fight. If you go to oddschecker.com right now, you'll see that there's a book in the UK offering Alfonso Gomez to win this fight at 4-1 odds, a plus 400. I like Gomez to win the fight, straddled against the over in the fight, right? If that over is, let's say, 9 rounds, then I think it's viable because I think this fight gets to the later rounds. I'm expecting an over-under of probably 7.5, maybe 8.5 rounds. I'd even go as high as 9 rounds. Right? I'm expecting this fight to get to the later rounds. So I like Gomez to win, straddled against the over. Right? This way, if Saul Alvarez wins the fight late, like he did against Ryan Rhodes, or gets the decision, that's okay. We're making money. If Alvarez wins this fight late, please don't write me and say, hey, you said to put money on Gomez. Because I also said to put money on the over. And if you do the math, you'll see you're making out okay even if Saul Alvarez wins late. Where you lose is if Saul Alvarez wins this fight by KO early. Let's talk about this. You know, Alfonso Gomez, he's a fast starter who throws volume. He has a history of starting fast, even in fights he's lost, right? He has only lost to quality fighters. Ishii Smith, Jesse Feliciano, Peter Manfredo, Miguel Cotto. Right? Now, let's talk about Canelo. Understand that as concussive as Canelo's punching power is, and Alvarez is one of the hardest punchers pound for pound in the sport, his left hook is easily, in my opinion, one of the top 10 punches in the entire sport. As hard as he hits, all three of his last 3 fights have made it to the 12th round. right? All three of his last three have made it to the 12th round. Now, I know that Miguel Cotto's best punch is a left hook, right? Cotto is a southpaw fighting out of an orthodox stance. And I know that Miguel Cotto destroyed Alfonso Gomez, right? Devastating fight. Cotto's able to land that left hook. Cotto also was able to hit Gomez to the body. He destabilized Gomez. He stopped Gomez. Now, if you're a Alvarez supporter, you're going to then say to yourself, well, Alvarez's best punch is a left hook. And, of course, like Cotto, Alvarez's left hook is out front, right? Alvarez, his money punch is his lead hand, right? And, of course, if you're an Alvarez fan, you're going to say that Alvarez, just like Cotto destroyed Gomez with some body punches, Alvarez destroyed Ryan Rhodes with some withering body punches throughout that fight. Rhodes gave an interview after the fight, and Rhodes actually talked about getting hit and feeling Canelo's body punches, right? All I'm saying is that even though Cotto got, I believe it was something like a 5th round stoppage of Alfonso Gomez, I don't believe that'll be the case in this fight between Gomez and Saul Alvarez. Because, little known facts, Gomez fought the Cotto fight with a broken right hand. And understand, Gomez is a righty, right? Gomez also admits that he was ill during his training camp before the Cotto fight and wasn't his best. Rather, what I'd like for you to do is to take a look at Gomez's fight against Jose Luis Castillo. Understand, it was Gomez who retired Castillo. Castillo, withering body puncher, right? Many believe to this day that he gave Floyd Mayweather, the headliner on this card, the toughest fight of his career. What you're going to find out is that Gomez is now bending at the waist. He's made his body very hard to hit. Castillo didn't have the opportunity to come close to Alfonso Gomez's body. This is a professional fighter who is lifting his game as his career is going along. Gomez covered up much better against Castillo than he did Cotto. He came in at angles on Castillo. He would not let Castillo go to the body. He outboxed Castillo. He ended Castillo's career. That fight did not go the distance. Let me also point out, too, that Gomez took on Arturo Gatti, methodically outboxed him. You're talking about a guy, in my opinion, who has better pure boxing skills than Saul Alvarez, who is a puncher masquerading as a long jabber, right? Gomez, to me, has the faster hands, is the slicker fighter, comes in at angles. He is compensated for a lack of punching power by developing his boxing skills. I think he's a live underdog. I think Canelo is going to have a very hard time with Alfonso Gomez in the early rounds. Don't treat Gomez like a 4-1 long shot. Treat him like an opportunity. I'm expecting Canelo to be outboxed early. Maybe Canelo gets the knockout late, but I'm expecting there to be some tense moments in this fight. I like Alfonso Gomez to win at 4-1, 3-1. I like him to win, straddled against the over in this fight. Remember, if Gomez pulls the upset, oh, you're raking in the dough. If Canelo wins the fight late, you're covered. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Visit us at Gamblers Advice.